Hi everyone, so this week's video is about what I eat in a day. I'd say this is an average weekday, but first of all, the most important thing in my routine is waking up and making a fresh coffee. And we like it pretty strong, and we have about 4 heaped tablespoons. And usually my fiance does this, but for the purpose of this video, he gladly let me do it. And we always use our cafetiere, and because we've run out of Monin sugar-free vanilla syrup, I'm actually using 2 teaspoons of sugar in these and a dash of 1% fat milk. And once the coffee's done, it's now time to get ready for Hans's dog walk. And this month we've been using this pedigree activity tracker, and I'm setting it to off-lead walkies. And Hans gives us a reason to get up, and so all 3 of us will just walk around our local park, do one big lap while we share one coffee. And Hans gets to run around, play fetch, and set ourselves up for the day. Now my fiance's gone to work, I'm reaching into the fridge for some overnight oats. And because it was a gorgeous morning, I thought I'd enjoy eating in the sun and make the most of the weather while we've got it. And this recipe is really healthy and simple. There's not a lot to it, so let's rewind to the night before and I'll show you how to make it. So I'm using my pretty heart-shaped bowl that I got from Home Bargains for £1, and I'm just grating a whole apple in there, core and all. You won't notice it. Then I'm reaching for some porridge oats, and I like to use my Frylight cap because it does roughly give you about 35 grams without measuring it, and it can get a little bit messy. Then I add a sprinkling of whatever spices I want. This time I use mixed spice and a pinch of cinnamon, and just give that a really good mix with a fork. And I just add a dash of water because I really can't taste the difference if I add milk or water, so I'll save any milk for later for teas and coffees. Then just cover it, pop it in the fridge and leave it overnight. And now it's dead on 12 and I'm weighing out 80 grams of rice directly into my rice steamer that I use in the microwave. But just for a little bit of fun, I don't normally do this, I thought why not just add some vegetables. So I'm adding a pinch of mushrooms and breaking up some broccoli florets. And this worked perfectly, I'll definitely do this a lot more often. Then I'm just adding some boiling water until the rice is covered. I pop it in the microwave for 5 minutes and then give it a mix and then cook it for another 5 and it's done. Now for my super healthy lentil curry. I'll leave the link to this recipe below because it really is a craving suppressant. And it's vegetarian, very easily vegan, but I cooked it in my slow cooker and it serves probably up to 6 people, but I'm just heating it through in a little saucepan. And when it cools, it does thicken a little bit, so I needed to add a little bit of water just to loosen it up in the pan. I know it doesn't look the sexiest on a plate, but it really is delicious. And I'm just adding the vegetable rice. And when it turns around 5 o'clock, I turn into wifey mode. And I like to make sure I've got a meal ready for when my fiance gets home. And because I was watching YouTube recipe videos this day, I thought I'd have a bit of a clear out in the fridge and create a random quiche to go with the already thawed steak that I had planned. So I'm using 100 grams of sliced mushrooms, then I've grated in a courgette and a garlic clove. I don't think you can get a lot wrong with a quiche. Just as long as you've got the creamy eggs and whatever vegetables you want, you're fine. Then I just cut up some asparagus tips. In fact, I'll just leave the recipe below for you on that one as well. So I'm just ripping those up with my hand and popping them straight into the bowl with the other veg. And then you've got to have an onion. I love onions. And I'm just finely dicing this up, although it can get a bit teary, and chuck those in as well. And then the main ingredient to this recipe is 4 eggs whisked in a jug, add a little bit of seasoning, then I found some cheeky chorizo and some low fat cottage cheese. Although it does work just as perfect with fat-free cottage cheese, but my local co-op didn't have it, so I was out of luck. And give that a really good mix, and I'm using a quiche dish, spraying it with some oil, and just chucking all those veggies in, and just flattening it briefly with a fork, and just pour over your eggy mixture. And if you're in the mood like I was, just decorate it with some tomatoes. And pop that in the oven at 150 for about 40 minutes. So while that was cooking, it gave me time to fry the steak and pop some beans in the microwave. And that was as simple as it was. I just think this meal represents summertime, and it was really lovely and tasty. So thanks so much for watching and putting up with my half-done kitchen, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye!